In the wake of Sora, AI video is absolutely white hot. Welcome back to the AI Breakdown. The last few weeks have seen a number of really big announcements from a technical perspective in artificial intelligence. We had Groq totally transforming the speed and latency of how fast LLMs could produce results. We had, before everyone cared about Gemini and its historically inaccurate image making, a huge announcement from Google around a 1 million+ token context window in Gemini 1.5 Pro. Paired with that, we also got claims that Magic.dev has an even bigger context window. And the third category of big advance was, of course, Sora. Now, I've talked extensively about how Sora has been so profoundly differentiated in terms of the quality of the video that it's triggered a response not just among AI folks like you and me who are listening to / making this show, but to normies who just see things careening ahead at a speed that they can't really imagine. Since OpenAI's announcement of Sora a couple weeks ago, we continue to get drips and drabs of creations, each seemingly more impressive than the last. But what's additionally interesting is how Sora has seemed to really kick up the competition around AI video in a huge way. Obviously, that's not to say that there weren't a ton of projects already working on this, but now there is a lot of attention being paid, and we're getting increasingly exciting stuff. This week, we've seen 2 examples of this. One of them is called LTX Studio. It's a new platform from Lightricks. The idea is to be able to generate not just these short clips, not the 4-second clips of the runways and Pikas of the world, or even the 60-second clips of the Soras, but actual full-length videos with multiple generated scenes, consistent characters, consistent lighting, storyboarding tools. In other words, it promises a full AI-powered movie-generating movie creation suite. Nick St. Pierre at Nick Floats on Twitter writes, "This is the first video AI tool I've seen that's focused on helping you generate an actual story, not just clips. Storyboarding, casting, consistent characters, sound effects, and editing all together in LTX Studio." Now, right now, LTX Studio is on a waitlist model, so we haven't had a ton of people who've been able to actually get in there and try it. But it seems pretty clearly on trend from really both of the big trends of this year that we frequently talk about, in terms of trying to push the state of the art when it comes to generative capacity, but also newly designed custom-purpose software built around specific use cases. If you've watched AI video generation evolve over the last, call it 6 to 12 months, you've seen people do more and more extensive things. Videos that have complete narrative arcs, but to do so, they've really had to hack together a bunch of different tools. Initial shots and reference points in Midjourney, ported into Runway or Pika, edited together in another piece of software, using something different for sound layered on top. The examples that LTX has released so far look like they could have been one of those creations, but the value, theoretically, is that they were made much more simply in a single place. The other big video software that everyone has been talking about this week is a research model that comes from Alibaba that they call EMO. EMO is short for Emote Portrait Alive, and it can take a single reference image and a vocal or audio source and turn that into a generated video with accurate lip syncing matching the soundtrack. Writes VentureBeat, "The system is able to create fluid and expressive facial movements and head poses that closely match the nuances of a provided audio track. This represents a major advance in audio-driven talking head video generation, an area that has challenged AI researchers for years." The lead author of the paper said, "Traditional techniques often fail to capture the full spectrum of human expressions and the uniqueness of individual facial styles. To address those issues, we propose EMO, a novel framework that utilizes a direct audio-to-video synthesis approach, bypassing the need for intermediate 3D models or facial landmarks." Trying to explain that more simply, VentureBeat goes on, "Unlike previous methods that rely on 3D face models or blend shapes to approximate facial movements, EMO directly converts the audio waveform into video frames. This allows it to capture subtle motions and identify specific quirks associated with natural speech." Unfortunately for us, a lot of the examples that have been released use audio from popular media, which would get this flagged and taken down from YouTube. But just go on Twitter/X and search up EMO, and there is a lot to be very impressed about. It should be noted that as all of these new contenders have popped up, the previous best-known tools for video generation, notably Pika and Runway, have also been making moves. Pika, for example, just announced their own lip-syncing tool. Earlier this week, they tweeted, "We know there's been a lot of talk about AI-generated video recently. Well, look who's talking now. Early access to lip sync is available for pro users." And while it's not a specific feature that was announced, I even noticed today someone tweeting, "Has Runway ML made a model update in the past day? Is anyone else getting significantly crisper and more coherent generations from the same prompt?" This gets back to what we were saying at the beginning of the show, that the introduction of Sora is sort of making everyone kick up their game. Another tool that is playing in the same space as LTX Studio is called Augie. VC and AI builder Yohei tweeted recently, video generation tools like Sora and Pika are cool, but you still need to stitch them together, add voiceover, etc. Augie does exactly that. He then shared a full video, all in a consistent retro neon animation sort of style, that had an overarching coherent narrative, and apparently came from a single prompt. Yohei writes, "This is a full video generated by AI from a single prompt. Transcript, voice, multiple AI-generated videos, then stitched together all in one go. What's more, I believe that right now, Augie is not on a waitlist and you can actually try it out." Not to be left out, Stability has announced, well, multiple things in this space. This week they announced a partnership with Morph Studio. Announcing it in a tweet, they write, "Morph X Stability AI, a groundbreaking collaboration bringing you the next-gen AI video creation workflow. Just let your ideas flow in and watch as vivid videos come out. With Morph Studio's all-in-one video generation solution, your inspirations from text, images, or existing videos evolve into captivating stories. Experience seamless creation with multi-parallel connections for every spark of creativity." This is a very differently organized full production suite, but a full production suite nonetheless. Across all these projects, just to reiterate, we are seeing two very different things happening simultaneously. The first is a push for advances in the actual models powering these videos. That is, of course, what Sora, for example, represents. But you're also seeing a really strong focus on workflows, the tools and interfaces that surround models to help people get the most out of them. In some cases, you're seeing both integrated at once. Whichever these tools catch on, whichever these models ultimately end up the most advanced, right now is a very, very good time to be a video creator, or to become one if you're not yet. That, however, is going to do it for today's AI Breakdown. Until next time, peace.